Worldwide Women Speakers. We coach, speak, and train on purpose. Connect with us today at worldwidewomenspeakers.com.
Welcome to Worldwide Women Speakers Online Conference. We are excited about this opportunity to speak life into your life, so we say welcome. We want to invite you to get a good seat. Make sure you have your notepad. Don't forget your pen. And most of all, be sure you've brought your courage along with you, because we're going to ask you at the end to take action. And, of course, courage is required. So we have a unique lineup for you today of the best, top of the line, inspirational leaders who will speak life to you and your circumstance. Girl, it's time to move. So now that you have your pen and paper, let's start off by writing a note to self. You see, that's our theme this month. We're writing a note to self, giving ourselves permission to no longer settle. We're giving ourselves permission to thrive, to be all and get all that God has for us. Our theme this month, Note to Self, it's Thrive Time, is meant to move you into action, to move you from where you are to where you're supposed to be. So be sure, as always, to take notes, and not just on your paper. Make that note to self on your heart, because everywhere you go, girl, there you are, holding yourself accountable. And we'll be right behind you, encouraging you, inspiring you, getting underneath you, praying for you, and lifting you up so that you can be the best that you were created to be. It's time to shine. The world is waiting for your greatness. Now, just before we get started, we want to encourage you to invite a friend to listen in. We want to admonish you and encourage you to bless us by leaving your comments at the very end. And please, please, please do share, because you know what they say, sharing is caring. As our inspirational leaders prepare to grace the stage and amaze you with God's goodness, we ask that you take a moment, just a moment, and be still and prepare your heart and your mind to receive that which God has purposed for you for this day, for such a time as this. Now, if you're ready, let's get started. Gracing our stage here at Worldwide Women Speakers, our online conference, is holistic transformational coach Tamika Haynes. Tamika, welcome to the stage for Worldwide Women Speakers as we kick off this month's online conference, Note to Self. It's Thrive Time.
Yay. Hello, everybody. Welcome. Thank you for joining us today. I'm so excited to share and be here with everyone.
Well, let's just kick it off, girl, because it is Thrive Time. Now, Thrive, as we've been hearing it so much lately, is one of those words that actually grows on you. It's actually what God intended for us to do. To thrive, to grow, because healthy things grow. So when you think of the word thrive, Tamika, what comes to mind for you? How would you define thrive, and what does it look like in your world?
Well, for me, thrive means not just be surviving, to be in a place and a time and a season where everything's coming together, you know, you're in the right state of mind, just like freshness and newness, and you got the ball rolling on whatever it is you're working with, all of your aspirations, your dreams, and things like that. Everything's just falling into place, and you're not constantly in a rut. as they say, you're not finding yourself in that place where you're, in a depressive state or everything's falling apart or you're just making ends meet. Thriving means to do more than just, just be doing more than just making it.
I have a feeling that someone is listening right now and they're probably thinking, well, I guess I'm just surviving. I'm not thriving because life is kicking my butt. Everything is topsy-turvy. So what would you say 1 or 2 steps we can take as women to move from surviving to thriving?
1 or 2 things I would do is, first, I will assess where I am, assess how I can get to the point of thriving. I will assess what I can do next. What's the next step that I can take to move from just surviving and making it to getting to the point of thriving. We all have a process that we have to go to get to thriving because life comes with lots of hills and valleys and ebbs and flows. So you definitely have to take a look at where you are and realize, okay, I believe I'm just in a state of thriving right now. And once you assess that, then you'll know what step that you need to take next. It doesn't have to be a giant leap. It doesn't have to, you don't have to just up and move. But sometimes it does take a radical change like that, to shake things up a little bit. But definitely assess where you are and then take that next step, even if it's just a small step, even if it's something as small as, okay, in order to thrive, I'm going to have to budget my money better, or I'm going to have to include more self-care, during my morning routine to make sure I'm ready for the day and I can thrive throughout the day. So it's just as simple as assessing where you are and then taking that next step.
Tamika, you're so absolutely right. It really is simple, but we make it complicated. You see, thriving is about being happy. It's about being healed and whole and living a life that is prosperous from the inside out. And sometimes we make it like it's this big thing. We got to go out and conquer the world, but really we don't. The simple things in life, like you just said, will help us move from surviving to thriving. Sometimes that's just so simple, like once you realize, as you said, where we are, just start acting like a kid, do fun things. We're always, adulting?
Right.
We forget the kid inside of us that helps us create and be free and have fun. So I love how you reminded us, just take small, simple steps. Break it down, right? Don't be so serious.
Right. Lighten up.
Lighten up. Tell a joke. Be a joke. What the heck? Okay, so you got us going on that, and you gave us a chance right now, even as we're talking, to move from a survival mode to a thriving mode. Because when we do simple things like laugh and have fun, it takes the stress off of us, right?
Indeed, yes. Yes, laughter
so
is definitely, yeah, you're welcome. It's definitely good for the soul, definitely.
So let's talk about thriving, and let's say we took the word thrive. Let's actually do that. Let's take the word thrive, and let's use it as an acronym, and let's break it down. You get the letter T. What would that stand for? The letter T in thrive, if we were to use every letter to say, hey, this is what thrive looks like, what would the T be for you?
I would say the T for me would be trust.
Trust. Okay. Trust. I trust you can tell me more about that.
Yes. I would say definitely trust, because to get from that point of surviving to thriving, you're going to have to trust the process. your process specifically, though. You're going to have to trust your process and not how someone else's process looks, but your process specifically. Everything you've been through up to the point that you're at right now, it's really been all for your good. It's been training to get you to that point of thriving. It's been training you how to deal with things that might come up once you start thriving, because we all know that things happen in life, even when we're in a state of thriving, that could actually push us back into just surviving. So trust your process. Trust that everything you've been through up to this point has been training you. Every setback, every hard time, it's just another piece of that bridge, or just another step up the hill to moving towards your destiny.
Trust the process. Ooh, girl, that's not so simple anymore. That's not that kid stuff. That is adulting right there.
It's hard, but it's worth it.
Woo! That means we got to let some stuff go.
Indeed. That definitely comes along with trusting the process, because in order to thrive, sometimes there are things that are weighing you down. Like you said, you're going to have to let some things go, and you're going to have to trust that it'll all come together once you do that, leaving those things behind, leaving those old habits behind, old relationships behind, old patterns of thinking. You have to trust that it's going to work out for your good.
Have you ever found yourself in the middle of surviving and thriving where you had to trust the process?
Yes, definitely I have. After a relationship breakup and, after struggling financially, having those financial setbacks, you do come to that point, that crossroad of where you're going to have to decide, am I going to stay where I'm at now and just continue to survive? Because we all know that we're given a choice. Thriving is also a choice. So you get to that crossroad, and I have come to that crossroad to where I had to decide whether I'm going to look back and continue to stay in that spot that I'm in and continue doing the same things and continue going through the same things that I was going through before, that cycle of depression or cycle of unhappiness, or was I going to decide to leave it all behind and just move forward? We all come to that point where we have to make a decision.
Man, the simple process of thriving is really kind of complicated at the end of the day. We got to make decisions too. Lord, help today. But that's what we were created to do. We're actually equipped to make decisions, and God even provides us with the opportunities to make decisions, to choose. That's the one thing that we as people can do that animals can't do. We can make choices. And if we're going to thrive, we have to make a decision. And in order to do that, as Tamika just shared with us, we have to trust the process. Trust the process. Okay, so there are some people, I'm pretty sure, that's listening right now that, they're struggling with trusting the process. And so as a result, they find themselves struggling in life, which or translates to surviving instead of thriving. Let's say, Tamika, you were writing a note to self, and we were reading your note that said to you, it's thrive time. Here's what you need to do to go from surviving to thriving. What would your note say?
It would say, trust yourself, in bold letters. Not only do we have to trust God, we also have to trust ourselves. That note would say, trust that God has given you everything you need to thrive. And what you don't have, he will provide it. The right people, the right methods, the right vision, the right tools, all of those things will come if you keep moving forward. Trust in your abilities, trust in the gifts that you've been given, trust that you will figure it all out, and that the path will be, he will light up the path as you move forward, every step that you take. Sometimes we have to move first. So I would say trust yourself and just keep moving forward. And I'll leave you with this quote: never be afraid to trust an unknown future to a known God.
Wow, that's powerful, because God knows the plans that he has for us, and they are plans for thriving, a future and a hope. Tamika, thank you for gracing us with your awesomeness and for getting us started with the note to self. It's Thrive Time Online Conference. Trust is what you told us to do. So we're off to do just that. Thanks again for being here.
Thank you.
When it comes to your health and well-being, you should never take a one-size-fits-all approach. Life affects your health, and your health affects your life. If you've been dealing with unresolved health concerns or life issues, it's time to take a holistic approach. As a certified holistic practitioner and life coach, Tamika Haynes is committed to getting to the root of the problem. Schedule a free 25-minute consultation with Tamika by calling 877-235-0373. Again, that's 877-235-0373, extension 910. Worldwide Women Speakers. We coach, speak, and train on purpose. Connect with us today at worldwidewomenspeakers.com.
We want to welcome to the stage empowerment specialist, the Queen, all the way from Ontario, Canada, none other than our sister friend, Sharon Ann Marie. Sharon, welcome to the Worldwide Women Speakers stage, lady.
Hello, my RJ. Hello, my beautiful queens. Welcome, welcome, welcome again. I am so excited to be here to speak with you, to share with you, and to just continue to bless and love you. Thank you for having me. I can't wait, queens, to talk with you.
And we love you as well. We're going to go ahead and jump right into our theme and topic for today. We're talking about thriving because it's thrive time, ladies. Listen, we have survived long enough. The struggle has been real long enough. It's time right now to get all that God has for us. So, Sharon, when we talk about thrive, when you hear that word, which is really kind of a buzzword right now, everybody's throwing it out, right? But we do everything. Yes, and we do everything intentionally. So let's talk about thriving intentionally as well as authentically. When you hear the word thrive, what does that say to you? What does it remind you of, or what does it mean to you?
For me, queens, thriving is knowing that you're living your best life according to you. Not what everybody else thinks you should be doing, but according to you. It means that you realize that when you smile, it's something that you've created, that you feel deep down inside. And it also means, queens, that thriving means you're moving forward with no regrets. None. Everything is done according to you, your purpose, your passion, and it makes you feel so good internally, no matter where you are. It doesn't mean wealth. It doesn't mean riches. It means you, inside you. That is what thriving means to me, ladies.
Oh, you said something like so powerful. You said no
regrets.
No regrets. Yes. Like
no regrets. Like, it doesn't matter how big it is, how scary your decision is. When we thrive, we make that decision. So let's talk about that for just a moment. No regrets, because as women, woo, girl, you know we be regretting things we said, we've done, places we've been, and all that stuff.
And that's so true. And, you know, I always do something, RJ, and I would be really empowered in a second, and then I'd feel, oh my gosh, that's going to make somebody else feel really bad. And you know, I was continuing cycles that were passed down to me. You know, feel bad if you don't do for others all the time, and you're less than a person if you don't do for others. And then I realized that's foolishness. That is absolutely foolishness. I am not benefiting from this. This is hurting me. So when I make a decision, I make the decision based on what is best for me. And I have no regrets for it because it is best for me. Because I know that when they do something, they don't worry about me. So I needed to worry about me and do everything intentionally, the best for me, the best for those around me, and live with no regrets. We all have that feeling, right, RJ? But do it with intention, and I'd live with no regrets, none, because it was best for me.
And sometimes, Sharon, would you say that we have regrets because we feel like we failed instead of looking at the fact that we have found like 100,000 ways that something won't work?
Right? Yes. And a lot of us live in regrets, as I say, because we've seen it. We've seen the cycle of, you know, you have to be wrong if you are doing something that is good for you, because we've been taught not to be selfish for ourselves. And you have to be. And a lot of us will feel like, oh, I failed. But did you fail? No. Did you do the best that you could do? Check. Did I put 100% in it? Yes. Check. Can I control the other person that is involved in it? No. And because I can't control what they are going to do, I cannot feel like I've done something wrong or I have failed, because I can't fail at something I've given 100% to. I cannot. It didn't work because I wasn't in control of another person. But me, I cannot fail. I cannot feel bad because I did the best that I can do. Society will tell you to feel bad. Old people that you watch around the world will tell you feel bad, but you didn't. You did not fail. And you have to forgive yourself and allow yourself permission to know that it is okay, that you did it with no regrets, that you did not fail, and that you are fantastic. Okay? Fantastic. Failure is not what you are if you've done the best that you can do.
So in other words, I hear you challenging us to be stronger than our excuses and our regrets and be the girl who decides to go for it, not just survive, but live, love, learn, and thrive. Because the truth is, there are no regrets. They're just lessons learned, right?
Exactly. I was going to say everything is a lesson. There's no failures. You know, what do they say? There's only winners and learners. You know, you've done the best you can. You did not fail, because for whatever you thought is a failure, there is a lesson to be learned. And 9 out of the 10 times is that you need to put yourself first and live with no regrets.
That's good word, beautiful. That's good word. So let's take the word, thinking of word, let's take the word thrive. And let's create an acronym with it. And what if I gave you the letter H out of thrive? What would it stand for to you? And tell me a little bit about it.
I really love that question. For me, Queens, H. For me, actually, I mean, it kind of doesn't start with the H, but it does. It's having a forgiving spirit. Having a forgiving spirit is so important in everything that you do, or you begin to feel trapped. It means to forgive others, for sometimes they know not what they do. It means forgiving yourself, for sometimes you do things that are cyclical. I keep using the term cycle because things are brought down and taught to us from our ancestors, from our families, friends. It's just a cycle. And once you have a forgiving spirit, you can move forward. You are unlocking yourself to be able to thrive at your best. Having that forgiving spirit means you've allowed yourself and given yourself permission to let go so that you can grow. A lot of us have all of these journeys that we need to get through, and we keep being put in these great positions, but because we refuse to forgive others or ourselves, we can't. We can't see what's in front of us. We can't knock down those doors that keep being opened because we will not forgive. When you forgive, you release, and then you can receive. So RJ and Queens, for me, when I think thriving, it is to have a forgiving spirit.
So important to forgive, and that means to release and let go. Yeah. And for so many of us, we're in the struggle, and the struggle is real, and we can't thrive because we're holding on to this right we have, this right to be mad, this right to be hurt. But forgiveness is really giving up your right to hurt or to feel hurt. It's saying, I release that so I can move on and get what else that God has for me. So 8, having a forgiving spirit. I like that. I like that, having a forgiving spirit. So how do we know if we have a forgiving spirit?
You know you'll have a forgiving spirit when you begin to take care of you instead of everybody else. You will realize that you will have an inner peace because you know your spirit isn't forgiven, that anything anybody does you're really angry about. And you're just like, somebody cut me off this morning. Did you see that woman look at me? When you have a forgiving spirit, you can see in people that they were once like you. You can see their anger, and you can look at them and say, I'll pray for you, and it won't bother you. Someone can say something to you, and it won't bother you because you've already forgiven. You've already seen what they were going to do, and you've already forgiven them always. You know that if you made a mistake, you're not stressing about it. You're not having sleepless nights. You're not angry. You're just like, hey, okay. Let me take a step back. Let me. What's a lesson that I need to learn here? And all of a sudden, all these lights will start to come on that you would normally have reacted out of emotion and defense, but now you're taking a step back and you're starting to reason with yourself. You're starting to find positive ways to handle things, and you just feel good. You just feel like, today the sun is shining. Woo! I woke up this morning. I have gratitude, and I feel blessed. You just feel different because you now forgive. You've released. There's not that pressure sitting on your shoulder. It's just, a beautiful breath of relaxing fresh air. That's it, my queens. That's how you feel. It's a feeling, RJ. It's a feeling.
It sounds like an amazing feeling, one which I have to honestly say I've had the opportunity to experience. How about you? Have you had that opportunity to experience that feeling, Sharon, where you released, you let go, and something didn't bother you anymore?
Yes. Well, I know if others of you have not been following, I often talk about my divorce and how I had built this supposedly, perfect life, the house, the cars, and all of this. And I was trying to convince people of who I was and what I thought I was, and they weren't hearing me. So I had to, put on that, hey, look at me, see me, I'm here, until I realized that I was becoming bitter that they weren't seeing me or they weren't hearing me and they weren't seeing that I wasn't happy. And I was allowing people to do things to me, queens, that was not normal, until I had to just stop and say, okay, Sharon, have you done 100%? Yes. Have you given all that you can give? I had to say no because I wasn't taking care of me. And when I realized that once I started to take care of me, And that I could say, I give myself permission to realize that I'm hurting because of this. I am sad because of this. Then I started to release. Then I started to look at the people who I was allowing to hurt me, because hurt people, that when I began to forgive them, because they too have a past and they too were bringing down cycles and years of what they've seen into this situation, that when I began to forgive them, that I began to see them differently. I began to see them innocently. I began to pray for them for innocence. Then I began to just feel free. I saw and heard birds singing. I saw the lake that I would walk past every day, but I could not have seen that unless I let go. And I had to just get on my knees and pray for that release, that pressure to be taken off me, and to know that I am perfect just the way that I am, to take care of me and to just let go. And the releasing of all these things I was trying to control, just letting go was like just having something in my hand just fly out in the air just to be released. And it was so beautiful. And had I not done that, I would never have been this happy. I would never have been able to receive you, RJ, or the beautiful women that we're talking to, because I would have been living in bitterness and anger. And until I released that divorce and released the fact that it just didn't work, and I did all I could do, and I couldn't control what I couldn't control, and I just let it go. Letting it go was my savior. Letting it go allowed me to live. Because again, RJ, for those of you who didn't follow me, I had 2 stress-induced heart attacks, and I also had a hysterectomy because I held on to that anger, and it became toxic. And then when I released it, I can tell you I've been very rarely sick. Because if I'm sick, it's because people around me are making me sick. But I'm not making myself sick. I've released it. I let it go. And that you must do, queens. Release and let go. And it is the best feeling in the world.
The best feeling in the world. Hey, note to self. If you were to give yourself a note and remind yourself it's Thrive time, and we got a chance to listen to what you would say to yourself, what would be your note to self, your words of encouragement to remind you you don't have to survive, it's Thrive time?
Let go so that you can grow. Let it go. Holding on to it is not going to serve you. Let it go so that all the blessings that you are about to receive will be able to come and you can see them. Just let it go.
Note to self, it's Thrive time. Let it go.
When was the last time that you have been at the top of your to-do list? How many times have you silenced the small voice inside? Now is the time for a Simply New Me. Let empowerment specialist Sharon Ann Marie of simplyanewme.com help you to make what you thought impossible possible and to discover the true power of you. Contact Sharon at simplyanewme.com to purify your life. Whether you are looking to encourage, educate, inspire, or motivate, hiring a worldwide women's speaker is the perfect way to wow your audience. With such a wide range of talented speakers to choose from, finding the right person can be a bit challenging. That's why we are here to help you. We have the right speaker for your conference, training, and women's event. Contact us today at worldwidewomenspeakers.com. That's www.worldwidewomenspeakers.com.
All right, ladies, I know, like you know, and we know that this has been amazingly awesome. Not only have the nuggets that have been dropped been filling for our soul, but the words of encouragement have been words to make us whole. We're not going to stop. Matter of fact, girl, if your pen is running out of ink, I want to give you just a minute to get one more, because we have some amazing, amazing words still in store just for you. Will you please join me as we welcome to the Worldwide Women online conference stage, our next speaker and inspirational leader. She is a law of attraction coach. She is our sister friend. She is Angela Denise. Angela, girl, welcome to the stage.
Hello, 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 and thank you so much for having me. And ladies, I am so honored to be here with you and able to just speak a word, and that you will receive everything that is spoken today. So once again, thank you so much for having me today.
Well, sister girl, let's just move the ladies from surviving to thriving, because it's thrive time. Let's just go ahead and jump right in, make some notes to ourselves, and remind us today is the day to be the best person that we were created to be. So as we talk about thrive, we've been defining and redefining, because it's one of those words, it's definitely out there. But let's find out from you, Angela, what does thrive mean for you?
Wow, with thriving, it really means to me it's just, keep on going, keep on moving forward, keep on, pushing and not giving up, no matter what's going on, what's coming at you, what's in the way, or whichever. You want to make sure that you keep on moving, you keep the momentum, you keep on going, no matter what is in the way in the place for you.
Keep on going. Keep on moving. Those are words of encouragement, and they remind me of that movie that says, just keep swimming. Well, girl, I never really learned how to swim, so how do I keep swimming when I don't know how to swim? How do I keep going when I'm running out or have run out of gas? How do I do that?
A way to keep on moving, even when you run out of gas, you have to be your own motivator. I know sometimes we, wait for other people to cheer us on and motivate us or whichever, but you have to have that within you. You have to know that no matter what, you can keep on moving. You have to pep yourself. You have to coach yourself. You have to cheer yourself on. Even when you feel down, you got to pick yourself up and say, hey, I can do this. Girl, you got this. Keep on moving forward no matter what. No matter what is thrown at you, keep on moving forward. Talk to yourself. Be positive. Speak positive. Do not let any negative things come to your mind. You speak it into existence. You keep on moving. You talk to yourself. You tell yourself, keep on running, keep on going. We got to do this. We got to do this. And be your own biggest cheerleader and own biggest motivator.
So, in other words, if you can't fly, then run. And if you can't run, then walk. And if you can't walk, then crawl. But whatever you do, Angela Denise says, girl, just keep moving forward. It's like riding a bike. Like life, if you want to have that balance, if you want to thrive, you got to keep moving. Good word, Angela, good word. So let's talk about thriving. And we've put thrive into an acronym. So I want to give you the letter R. What would the letter R represent for you to help us keep moving as it relates to thrive?
The letter R, well, let me think about it. With the letter R, I think about resiliency, being resilient, in life, no matter what knocks you down, no matter what happens in life, that you can still, get back up, that you can still, keep on moving forward, that you have to be resilient within your life, because something is going to always happen. Something is going to always happen. Something is going to always knock you down. Something is going to always throw you off course. But you have to know, okay, what is your goal? What is your dream in life? Keep on looking forward. It's going to be a lot of things in between. But even if something knocks you off to the side or knocks you off to the left or whichever way, you have to know that, okay, well, I still have my goal in mind. I still have that in the forefront of my mind, that I'm going to get back on that path, and I'm going to keep on walking. If something else comes at me or whichever, I'm going to duck. I'm going to move to the side. I'm going to move to the other side. I'm going to whatever I need to do, but I'm going to keep on moving towards that goal because I have that vision in my life. I have that dream in my life. And I know that if I continue to move forward, then my life is going to be better. I know if I continue to move forward, my dream is going to come true. I know if I continue to move forward, my vision is going to come true. I know if I continue to move forward, my life is going to be better. My kids' life are going to be better. My parents are going to be better. My spouse is going to be better. I know if I continue to move forward, things will be better.
So tell us about a time where things needed to be better for you. You were surviving. You were on that bicycle. You fell off, but you decided to get back up, bruised knees and all, and keep on going because your mission was not to survive, but to thrive and to be resilient.
You know, one of the hardest things, in my life, when I fell off, and I thought, a lot of times, as women, we think everything is going to be okay. It's good until something happens. And then we want to, call on God at that time, not knowing that we need to keep him in the forefront at all times. But one thing that in my life that I can remember is when I really fell off and I thought I had it all together was my marriage. That's one of the times in my life took such a big turn and a big twist, and I really fell off, and I really had to pull myself back together. I had to make sure that I had God first in my life. I had to make sure that I could motivate myself. I had to make sure that I was there for myself and my children and that I could better myself. I could have easily just tuck my tail and run or go under some rock or just hide or whichever and not, motivate myself, not elevate myself. I could have easily turned away. But instead I said, okay, I want to be a better person. I want to elevate myself. I want to grow myself. Let me look at me and what I needed to do. Let me take a look how I can improve my life. Okay, let me look at my goals and what I can do in order to achieve those. So that was a time that I could easily just not done anything. Let all, depression and everything just get to me. And no, I had to say no, not this today. Not this the next day, not the next day. I'm going to be a better person. I'm going to do whatever it takes for me to be a better person, for me to walk forward, for me to bounce back. And that made me even stronger. So for all the ladies, if you are at that point that things have fallen off, don't give up. Pull yourself back up, whatever it takes. Whatever it takes to pull yourself back up, even that last string of energy that you have inside of you, take that and pull yourself back up and say that I'm here for a reason, I'm here for a purpose, and I can bounce back. I can move forward. I have this vision. I have this dream, and I can do this. And know that whatever happens, that you can continue to move forward.
I'm just going to repeat one thing I heard you say that the ladies just seriously need to hear again, and that is not today. Oh, no, not today. We are not stopping here. We're going to get back up, and we're going to do this thing again. So, ladies, if you've fallen off, you got to tell yourself, not today. I'm getting back up. It's thrive time. So, Angela, if you were to write a note to yourself and to remind yourself that it's thrive time, what words of encouragement would be on your note? Because we want to read it.
Wow, what would I write to myself? First, I know I've told a lot of people this, and this is my motto that I stand by. And even when I was down, my words are standing strong. That's the first thing, and I always remember because that means so much to me. Standing strong no matter what you're going through. today, no matter what you're going through tomorrow, knowing that if you keep God first in your life, if you stay focused, if you stay faithful, then everything is going to be okay. And you just want to say, girl, you got this. It's all right. You're going through something right now, but it's going to be okay. Everything that you're going through right now in this moment, in this season, is all getting you ready for your future. It's all getting you ready for your vision. It's all getting you ready for what's to come. It's making you stronger. It's elevating you. It's making you into the best person that you can be to live your life in the next realm, in the next future, in the next stage of your life, in the next era of your life. It's all making you stronger. It's all making you stronger. So hang in there. Stick in there. Don't give up. If something knocks you down, get back up. If you can't get back all the way, that's okay. Get back up part of the way and crawl. Then start walking. Then start running. But whatever you do, don't stay knocked down. You have to get back up and make it happen and keep everything in the forefront. Get back up and stand strong.
Do you have a strategy plan for your life? Is your plan outdated or collecting dust as life passes you by? It's time to stop winging it and contact Angela Denise, your certified life coach. Angela is waiting to help you develop a strategic life plan to get your life back on track. Be the best you can be with strategies. Contact Angela today at www.askangeladenise.com.
All right, ladies, we just keep bringing you the best of the best, and this is no exception. It's time for us to bring to the Worldwide Women Speaker stage mindset maven, best-selling author, and speaker, Athena Blue.
Thank you so much, RJ, and I am so happy to be here with you and all of our sister girlfriends out there who are with us and wanting to find out what it is that we have to offer them. Well, we just want to share a little piece of our life with you and hope that it will just bless you and encourage you and inspire you to keep on going on and being your best, because it is time to thrive.
It's Thrive time, baby girl.
It is Thrive time.
It's time.
Hey,
it's time to thrive. So let's just move past surviving and let's thrive. So let's talk about thrive, what it actually means to you, how we live a life of thriving, how thriving has taken place in your life. So tell us, what does thrive mean to you?
Well, I'm going to tell you, when I was younger, I thought it meant living the American dream. You know, what most people do, go to school, get a good job, from your education and make lots of money and live a good life. Well, that's what most of us are taught in society anyway. But, many of us never really reach that good life because we're always working, and striving for that good life. Have you ever known of anybody that just kind of like worked all their lives and then right before retirement or right after retirement they died? Yeah, I knew of a couple people from my nursing career, and that's not too good. And as I kind of got older, I kind of reevaluated my definition of thrive. I'm like, I don't think I want to work until I die. I want to be happy now. I want to be healthy now. Yeah, I want to be financially secure, but above all that, I just want to be happy and at peace with myself and with others. So, I have changed my definition of thrive to just being happy and being healthy and being able to look out on the world and just say, I'm just glad I'm here. And what can I share with others to, spread my positive vibrations to others and make people happy?
What I hear you saying is thriving is not about obtaining all this stuff. It's about living life from the inside out.
It's got to come from the inside.
Wow,
that's
cool.
It's got to come from the inside.
Awesome. So tell us about a time in your life for sure you went from surviving chasing what you call the American dream to thriving and being happy and fulfilled, healthy and whole?
Well, the other part's been happening a long time, just surviving, just getting up, working every day. I've been a nurse for 40 years. Not that the nursing career hasn't been good. Not that I haven't enjoyed most of it, because I have. But it's been just the routine, getting up every day 4 in the morning, being at work at 7 o'clock, working 8 hours, coming home, sometimes working late, going home, repeating it all over again, It just got old after a while, and I didn't feel like I was thriving because I was working to pay bills, raising a family, and, just all my money was just going out, I didn't feel happy. I felt like I was just, living for someone else, living to make other people happy, like the bill collectors or the utility people or whatever, never taking time for me to do, what some things I might want to do to take care of myself. That was my life. And, as I shared in other things, after my husband died, I went through a time of, going through grief, and then I started coming out of it, and then I said, I've got to take care of me. But I found that if I wanted something different, I had to do something different. So I had to step out on faith and make a move. And since I've made that move, stepped out on faith, I have been happy. I found that I can be happy doing something else in another environment.
Doing something different, thriving, blooming, blossoming.
Yes, blossoming.
Yes, blossoming. Growing outside of, like you just said, doing the same old thing.
Mhm.
I love it.
Yes.
There's a trust factor to doing that, right?
Yes. And that's one of the things God working on me is trust. I find it very hard to give trust.
So how do we overcome that when we don't trust? How do we thrive? Because it seems like if we don't trust, we're going to be stuck in survive mode.
Yes. You just got to step out. Like I said, I'm here in a totally new environment with a totally different culture that 2 years ago I would never have said, I'm not going there. No, I'm not going there. I'm in a winter climate. I'm in a northern winter climate where the population is predominantly Caucasian, and I would never have come here 2 years ago. I would say, who am I going to talk to? What am I going to do? I don't know how they'll treat me there. And since being here, I have been treated very well. The people are so nice, and they have just taken me in and just treated me just like a fellow member of the community.
So, Athena, how do we go from I'm not going to do that to jumping in and doing it? Like, how did you get there?
Well, a couple years ago, as I was going through grief and coming out of it, I started to think that, if I want to be happy and at peace with myself, with others, I had to start incorporating gratitude into my life. And since I started that practice of gratitude, I have been on a more positive trajectory or path of my life, and things have just started opening up to me. A lot of the fear is gone. A lot of the, fear of being hurt or the mistrust or distrust, all of that seems to be melting away. It's not like I don't still have my faculties and have caution where it needs to be, but I just don't have all of those negative hang-ups anymore. And let's just say I don't feel stuck anymore, because I used to just feel stuck. I don't feel stuck anymore.
You know, our feelings can really keep us from moving forward, and they can keep us stuck. And instead of thriving, we find ourselves consistently surviving and barely doing that. So let's break down the word thrive. Let's use it as an acronym. If I were to give you the letter I, in reference to the word thrive, what would you say the letter I represents?
Well, what I had just said before, incorporating gratitude. Gratitude is like when you have the quality of being thankful, you're being ready to show appreciation to and for and return kindness to people. It's just being thankful. And so, you know, gratitude comes with a whole lot of benefits. You know, it just makes you happier. It has a lot of positive health benefits to your body. And it's just makes you more appreciative and opens up your eyes to what's already been around you all the time, but you just didn't notice it because you weren't looking at it with your heart's eye.
That's interesting that you say gratitude and we're not looking at it with our heart's eye. I love that. Because if we're going to be grateful, we have to use the I in thrive, incorporate gratitude, and see it not with our natural eye, but with our heart eye.
Amen.
Go girl. That's totally awesome. And I think the problem is the reason why we continue to try so hard and work so hard just to survive is we're using the wrong eyes.
We're using the wrong set of eyes. Yep.
Yes. Oh, that's totally good word. So give us another good word, if you will, because there are women right now who are listening who, if we said raise your hand, they would probably raise both hands and say, like you said, I'm stuck. I'm barely making it. I know I'm supposed to do better, and I really want to go from surviving to thriving. If you were to write a note to self and remind yourself it's thrive time, what would your note say? And let us listen in.
Well, I would say each and every day, check in with your heart. Open up your heart's eye and look around. What do you see? When you are grateful and thankful, first of all, before getting out of bed, you'll thank the Lord that you had a great night's sleep and you are awake and alive today. Thank Him that you can put your feet on the floor and walk without a cane or a crutch, but even if you do, if you can walk, you have some mobility. Thank God for that and be grateful for that. If you have to go to work every day, like I did for 40 years, start saying, thank God I have a job. Start saying, thank God I have transportation. You know, when you get to work, smile at your coworkers. They may not smile back, but smile at your coworkers and say, good morning, how are you? Start seeing and looking around you for the positive, because there's positive out there. Sometimes the positive is so small that if we aren't looking at it and for it with our heart's eye, we completely miss it. So start your day with your heart's eye open and start looking for the positive in everything around you. Because right now, you have to learn to be grateful for what you have right now. It doesn't mean that's where you're going to stay at forever, but you have to learn to be thankful for what you have right now. Because once you can do that, then what you're showing is that now you can open up yourself to more opportunity and be grateful and thankful for that. But before you can move forward with more opportunity, you've got to be thankful for where you are right now. And that's what I would say. Be grateful for who you are, what you are, and what you have right now so that you can move forward. And most people don't want to be grateful for what they have right now. I don't like it. I don't like this. I'm not supposed to be here. Why would God do this? But you've got to learn to be grateful and thankful for what you have right now so that you can move forward. Because not being grateful will keep you stuck.
When we're surviving, many things catch our eye. But when we're thriving, we go with the thing that catches our heart. That's what we pursue. And we do so, as you said, with an attitude of gratitude. Great, powerful words for us to take with us, for us to write our own note on our heart and read them with the eyes of our heart.
What I'd like to leave you with is the quote by Zig Ziglar. Gratitude is the healthiest of all human emotions. The more you express gratitude for what you have, the more likely you will have even more to express gratitude for. Thank you.
We are born to thrive. And if we're going to thrive, we have to use the eyes of our heart. And as Athena shared with us, have an attitude of gratitude. So if you're ready to go to the next level, incorporate gratitude. Athena, Mindset Maven, thank you for sharing your courage, your words of wisdom, your inspiration that causes transformation for our right now situation.
You're welcome.
Ladies, do you feel older, drained, and frazzled with no energy left at the end of the day? For years, Athena Blue struggled with these very same issues. Through her own healing journey, she discovered healthy ways to not only look and feel younger, but regained her zest for life. Schedule your free Energy Boost session with Athena right now and learn the #1 thing you can do now to turn your life around. Call Athena today at 877-235-0373. Again, that's 877-235-0373, extension 907.
It's been an amazing time here at the Worldwide Women Speakers Conference. Note to self, it's Thrive time. It's been awesome. And we're not going to stop. We're going to continue this awesomeness as we invite the next level speaker, author Jessica Rowe, to the stage as we talk about thriving. Jessica, welcome, beautiful.
Thank you. Thank you so much for having me. I welcome everyone who's here, who's listening, and, let's get ready to thrive.
Let's thrive because it's Thrive time. So we've been learning about Thrive and different perceptions on Thrive, what that looks like. We know it is not surviving. It is, Jessica, next level living. Thrive. Let's talk about that. What does that look like for you as you think about next level living and thriving?
What that looks like for me is abundance. It's thriving towards abundance. It's thriving towards having everything that I want, everything that I need. But I know I have to make some choices and make some decisions to keep thriving, to keep moving on and taking steps to get to the next level, because that's the only way you're going to thrive. I mean, we're going to have setbacks, we're going to have challenges, but, and sometimes that could be a good thing because that allows you to sit back and rethink about what's going on in your life or rethink a situation and handle it, take care of it, and continue and move on to thrive.
Whoa, abundance, baby. That's a powerful word right there because abundance covers so many territories in our life. It's like a lifestyle of greatness. So when I think of abundance, Jessica, I think of the process literally of letting go to get all that we can receive. And I know sometimes letting go is kind of difficult. So what would you say to us about having that abundance and how letting go relates to that?
Well, what I would say to that is to value yourself. You have to value yourself in order to get the abundance that you want, the abundance that you seek to have. And the way you can start valuing yourself so you can get to abundance is my number one thing that I have been doing this year, which is self-care. And self-care, as you mentioned, you talked about letting go. Self-care means you have to let go of some things and take care of you first. Yes, there's going to always be someone who needs something from you or wants something from you, but they can't get that from you if you are not taking care of yourself. So self-care could be anything that makes you happy, makes you satisfied, makes you feel good. So a nice walk outside, that's self-care. Just being alone by yourself and taking a 10, 15, maybe 20-minute walk to clear your head and clear your mind. And ladies, I know we get the manicures and we get the massages and things like that, but also reading a book, reading one of your favorite books, even if it's a book you've read before. Sometimes when we go back and read those books, we may miss something or may skim through it, but when we go back and read it again, we'll say, I needed that. This is what I needed. Even though I've read this book many a times, I didn't realize that this part was here on this page. So start reading, start taking walks, start enjoying being by yourself, because I think that is the best company that you can have at times, is being by yourself, and that is what starts to create the abundance in your life.
So taking care of yourself, that self-care is abundance, which is thriving. And that's so important because we can't take care of anyone else until we know how to take care of ourselves. So thank you, Jessica, for reminding us that thriving starts with us. And sometimes as women, we totally forget that. Thriving starts with us. So we've been breaking down THRIVE as an acronym. And so I want to give you the letter V. What would you say if we were to use the letter V to describe THRIVE or what it looks like? What word would you come up with for V?
Okay, let me think about that. For as it relates to thrive, the word vision comes to mind, but word value also comes to mind as well. Vision is great, but we have to have value. And, ways to value yourself is you can develop yourself. You can do things that you have been wanting to do for years. There's a lot of women who have had the role of taking care of family, taking care of others, but not necessarily doing the things that they want to do to develop themselves. They spend time developing other people, but they don't develop themselves. So as a part of value, develop yourself by taking an online course. Technology is so vast right now where we don't have to go and sit in a classroom or go sit in a workshop. We can go online, and there is a source or resource, a site called Udemy. It's the letter U, D like David, E, M like Mary, Y. Udemy has so many courses available at low cost. They're not expensive, especially around this time, the holidays and things coming up. They normally have a holiday sale where you can get these classes for $10, $15, and they are personal development and self-development classes. So, as a part of valuing yourself, go ahead, take the class, begin learning things that you've always wanted to learn, develop yourself, improve yourself. There's nothing wrong with that. We have to learn every day. Learning is a daily thing. Learning doesn't just stop at high school or after you get out of college. You still have to push yourself thrive and learn on a daily basis.
That is so true, because for successful people, school is never out. I love, Jessica, I absolutely love the two words, value and vision. And yes, there's so much value in both of those words. But I like the fact that you picked value and you talked about valuing ourselves. Like, what a wonderful thing to encourage us to do, to help develop ourselves, because that's what thriving is all about. Because as we develop ourselves, we find ourselves struggling less because we know more. And knowledge is power, right?
Yes. Yes, it is. Knowledge is power, especially when you put the action to it. It becomes even more powerful.
Yes, and thank you so much for that amazing resource. Udemy is a great resource for developing ourselves and learning more and finding the content that we need to help us thrive. If you didn't write that one down, write it down. That's all I got to say about that. Write it down. Udemy, go online, Google it, and then take some of the classes as Jessica just shared and develop yourself so that you can thrive. Because it's thrive time, girl. It's thrive time. Hey, Jessica, we're laughing, but somebody right now is literally crying their heart out because they are stuck. They are just barely surviving. They have no clue what it really means to thrive, even though you just broke it down, gave them some resources they can help pick themselves up. They're stuck. So let me ask you a question. If you were at this very moment to write a note to self, what would your note say to encourage yourself, because it's thrive time? And by the way, we want to take a sneak peek at your note. So what are you saying on the note that we can value as well and we can learn from too?
On my note, I would talk about emotional well-being. That is another way that you can also value yourself. Basically, speak up for yourself. If something doesn't feel right, don't hold it in. I used to do that. I used to hold a lot of things in, and by doing that, I just started feeling bad about myself or not feeling good about certain situations because I was always afraid to speak up. And that really plays a lot on you emotional. So my note would be, speak up for yourself. Don't let things go. Like if something is bothering you, someone has said something to you, or a situation is going on where you're not comfortable with it, speak up as soon as possible. Don't hold it in for so long to the point where, and I've recently learned that, holding on to something for so long and not letting it out year after year and years go by, and sometimes you become bitter, you become angry, all because you haven't said what needed to be said or needs to be said. You start to develop that persona of yourself. You start to be bitter, angry, stressed, or people are looking at you some kind of way because you have this type of attitude or this energy about you because emotionally you haven't put out or said what you needed to say to the persons or the person, or you haven't spoke on a issue. So I would say in that letter again to myself, speak up, speak out. Say what it is that's bothering, so that way you can lessen your emotional stress and it won't be so bad on you, and you won't be, I guess I would say, like looked at as this person who always has an attitude, this person who's always crabby or upset, because you know how to release things, get them out the way, and, lower your stress levels and brighten up your day, brighten up yourself, release all that cortisol is what they call it. When we become so stressed, we have cortisol in our bodies, and that ultimately can lead to a type of autoimmune disease. So, I mean, I don't want to go all into it, but, recently I've been starting to learn different things about the body and emotions and stress.
So it sounds like you've been thriving and taking the advice of developing yourself the way you've been encouraging us to do so as well.
Yes, I have. Very much so.
Good for you. But that's what we do here at Worldwide Women Speakers. We are inspirational leaders, meaning we lead the way. We don't just say, here's what you need to do. We tell you, here's what we're doing, what's working, and invite you to try it. And like Mikey says, you'll like it. You'll like it.
I'd like to leave you with this quote: confidence is key.
And there you have it, ladies. If you want to unlock that door from surviving and you want to walk into your next level of living life on purpose by thriving, you got to have confidence, because confidence is key. Jessica, it's always a pleasure to have you here on the stage of the Worldwide Women Speakers Online Conference. You are my sister, the bomb.com. Thank you so much for sharing with us and giving us a resource to help us move on from surviving, because it's rising time.
Yes, you're welcome. Thank you.
Do you have a dream in your heart that you desire to see come to pass? Are you an aspiring entrepreneur? If so, then this is your season. Author and inspirational speaker Jessica Rowe has made it her mission to help aspiring entrepreneurs turn their ideas into action by providing helpful strategies to achieve their goals of full-time entrepreneurs. If you're ready to break out of your shell and shine, let Jessica Rowe help you discover a new level mindset. Contact Jessica at 877-235-0373, extension 913. Worldwide Women Speakers. We coach, speak, and train on purpose. Connect with us today at worldwidewomenspeakers.com.
Now, I know you are going to agree with me. From the T to the H to the I to the I to the V, girl, we've been thriving. Now, I know we're missing the E, but we're going to get there. Don't you worry. We got you covered, girl. We got you covered. So let's talk about what we've learned so far and what our inspirational leaders have dropped in our lap as we talked about Thrive Time. We heard that T is for trust. H is for have a forgiving spirit. R, resilience, be able to bounce back. I, whatever you do, incorporate gratitude. And V, girl, you are somebody. It's time you value yourself. So what does that leave us? The letter E. So I guess I'm going to have to jump in and tell you what I think the letter E should be in Thrive. But just before I do, let me tell you what I think it means to thrive. Well, actually, I'm going to cheat a little bit. I'm going to tell you what Webster's dictionary says. Webster says to thrive means to grow vigorously. It means to flourish. It means to gain in wealth and or possessions. It means to prosper. And I absolutely love this definition. To progress forward and to realize that there is a goal to be obtained in spite of your circumstances. You see, to thrive means to understand that life happens, and you were born, you were created for the best of best, even when life happens. You are not your circumstance. You are not your situation. You are not what happens to you. You are successful. successful because you were molded and created and shaped by the plans of God that says you are successful. You were meant to thrive, girl, not just barely survive. You were meant to flourish, to bloom, to blossom. You were meant to thrive. So as we talk about thrive, we talk about going beyond your current circumstances, your situation, your seemingly lack of, and pressing towards the goal. And that's what it is to thrive. In order to thrive, courage is required. Yes, you're going to be afraid to push past, but you got to go anyway. That's what it means to thrive. So let's look at the letter E, and let's talk about what it could possibly represent as we talk about thriving. What would you say the letter E represents in thrive?
Hi, this is Kelly DeGear from La Quinta, California. And the E in thrive to me stands for energy. If we are going to thrive, we must have energy, that energy to share with others.
Oh, Kelly, that's excellent. Yes, energy. We need energy and positive energy if we're going to thrive. Oh, gosh, yes. Thank you, Kelly.
This is Victoria Rashawn from Chino Hills, California, and E stands for excited. If we are going to thrive, we must be excited about life.
We are on a roll. Yes, Victoria, yes. Like Kelly said, we need energy. And what kind of energy? E. We got to be excited. We need to be excited. Excited. Yes. We need excitement because we can't accomplish anything. We can't press past anything if we're not excited about it. Yes, I love it. I love it.
Hello, this is Nancy from Pomona, California. And the E in thrive for me is execute. If we're going to thrive, we must be willing to execute. To execute for me means not just to start it, but to finish it.
Execute. Wow. Now, Nancy just went deep on this, y'all, because that's what it's all about. It's about executing. It's about going beyond. It's about going past. It's about pressing in. It's about pushing back hell and telling hell no. And the way to do that is we execute. We don't talk about it. We be about it. We move. We thrive. We execute. Wow, thank you, ladies. Thank you, ladies, so much for telling us what the E stands for in thrive and how you feel about it. Amazingly awesome. I'm just going to wrap it all up, and I'm going to share with you my take as well. The ladies did so well, I almost not want to share, but I promised you I would, so I'm a woman of my word. E in the word thrive. Expectation. If we're going to thrive, we have to have expectation. The expectation that Philippians 1:6 talks about and tells us that he who began a good work in us, we have to have an expectation that he will complete it. We have to, just as the definition of thrive says, see beyond our circumstances and expect God's word, his promises, to be true in our life. It's thrive time. It's thrive time. Note to self, it's thrive time. I don't know about you, but I'm pretty full. But there's still some food left on my plate. And you know what mama say, girl, you're going to eat all that food. And I am. And I am happy to eat it because we're going to bring to the stage our last worldwide women speaker, inspirational leader, our keynote for today, Deana Chandler. Let me tell you a little bit about Deana. Deana is not just a survivor.
She's a thriver. She refused to let the fact of her being abused, misused, mistreated define her, but refine her life as she continues to thrive. Venus uses her voice for the voiceless to remind each and every one of us that we have a voice and we can take back our life. She is the author of A Silent Scream, which she has written for people like you and I to remind us that we can give ourselves permission to move past the past. Put your hands together as Venus Chandler graces the stage for Worldwide Women Speakers Online Conference. Venus, welcome, beautiful.
Thank you, Ms. RJ. First, I just want to thank you all for just tuning in. You don't understand just how very special you are. Anytime you take the time out of your day to just listen to one of these messages, that right there just shows how very, very, very special you are. We are all here for the same common goal, and that is to learn how to thrive. When I start thinking of this word thrive, I wanted to truly understand exactly what it means. You know, thrive is a very, very powerful word, but it's one that we throw around so much. When you look at social media, thrive this, thrive that. There's a hospital, I do believe, that's using the word thrive, and then there's products with the word thrive. So thrive is a very, very powerful word, but I really, really wanted to understand what this word thrive, what it really means. So here are some of the other words that I came up with. Blossom, develop, flourish, grow, prosper, shine, progress, rise, radiate. So see just how powerful that word thrive is? It isn't small at all. It isn't small at all. I was born to a very young girl, 14-year-old girl, and she didn't understand any of these words. She didn't understand what it meant to thrive. My mother, she never grew. She never blossomed. She never progressed. She never got to shine. She never got to do any of these things because she was never taught any of these things. And because she was never taught any of these things, she was not able to teach me. And being a survivor of childhood trauma, I didn't understand any of these words. I was led to believe that I was worthless and used up. I didn't understand boundaries, and I trusted everyone. Yeah, you heard me right. I said I trusted everyone. I trusted anybody and everybody. Now, most people are taught not to trust anybody, right? They said, don't trust that stranger, don't trust that person, but that wasn't me. I trusted everybody. And I trusted everybody because I was never taught anything different. I was never taught that not trusting people was was important. So I didn't understand that. And I definitely didn't understand boundaries. I had no clue what boundaries were and none of that. So all that stuff sort of kind of went hand in hand. So what I did is I allowed people to come in, and I allowed them to use me, abuse me, destroy me, tear me down, mistreat me, and almost as though I was just this object sitting over there and I was just there for the taking. Whoever wanted to come in and just do whatever they wanted to do, what I allowed people to do. And with that, it chipped away. It chipped away at myself. It chipped away at who I was supposed to become, who I thought I was going to become. You know, as a little girl, we always think that, you know, we're going to grow up and be this powerful superhero, but, you know, they came along, they stripped me of my cape, they stripped me of my lasso, they stripped me of my powerful bracelets. And so what happened is I ended up living in such a dark, dark place. I had become very, very, very depressed, and I lived just in darkness. I started on a downward spiral and became self-destructive, and I didn't understand what this growing thing was, this flourishing thing was, and, you know, I didn't progress at all. I sort of kind of just stood still in life. And then I became very, very suicidal. I wanted to die. I didn't want to be here, you know, and that's what happens when you're not progressing. But through the grace of God, I lived, and I wanted to continue to live. I wanted to thrive. You know, I wanted to blossom. I wanted to flourish. I wanted to shine. I wanted to rise. That's what I wanted to do. So what I did is I set out on a journey to do just that. And it wasn't easy. It was not easy. When I set out on this journey, there were people who didn't like what I was doing. They didn't like that I wanted to take control of my life because I was looking for this thrive thing. And there was people who separated themselves from me. And when I say people, I mean there was family. There was close friends. I even had to separate from a job of 13 years because looking for this thrive, this powerful, powerful word thrive, it became the most important thing to me. So here are three things that I did, and I'm hoping that you can use these three things and implement them in your life as well. These are some of the things that I did to find this word thrive and just how powerful it was and how I implemented it into my life. And the first thing that I did was, you got it, I set boundaries. I set boundaries. I stopped allowing people to come in to use me and abuse me. I started telling people no. I started telling people that's not going to work for me. I stopped allowing people to just do whatever it was that they wanted to do to me. I set boundaries, and people didn't like it. And I'm telling you, people started dropping like flies. Close people. So that's the first thing that I did. I set boundaries. The second thing that I did was I got really, really quiet. And I stopped being so available. I became quiet because I really wanted to hone in on what it was that God was telling me. Because, you know, God gives us instruction. He will tell us, hey, go down this street, go down that street, take this stuff, take this right. But if things around you are so noisy and you are allowing people in any and everybody into that space, you can't hear God. He'll be drowned out. So that's what I did. I got really quiet, and I was able to actually hear his instruction. I stopped being so available, meaning that you don't have to answer every phone call. You don't have to answer every text message, inbox, email. You don't have to always comment on social media. Some of these things you have to sort of kind of set aside, and social media for me was just one of them. Now, don't get me wrong, I love social media because I love to connect with people, and I love people, and I love talking to my girls and all that good stuff. But when there's something that in your life that you are trying to really focus in some of that noise you have to cut out. So those are the things that I did. I got really quiet, and I stopped being so available. And another thing with being available, all year long, I found myself going to this conference, that conference, speaking here, speaking there, being a vendor there, being a vendor. You don't have to be involved in everything. Sometimes you have to just stop and take a back seat and just take time out. And the third thing is I got selfish. And yes, I used the F word. I got selfish. Now, most people may say it isn't selfish, it's self-care. But guess what? That word is watered down as well. People don't even understand how powerful that word self-care is because everybody has thrown it around. Even when you go to all the conferences, it's all about self-care. And when you look on social media, all you see is self-care. People have really become numb to that word. So I really wanted to call it what it really is, and it's being selfish. And it is okay. It's okay to put yourself first. And now when I say first, I mean second outside of God, but first before everybody and everything. And when I say everybody, yes, I mean your children. Yes, I mean that husband. Yes, I mean that job. You have to put yourself first, because if you do not take care of yourself first, you cannot take care of anybody else. Remember what they tell you when you're on the airplane, when that oxygen mask drops, you have to apply that oxygen mask to yourself first. Because if you cannot survive, how are you going to help who's sitting next to you? So just really think about it. And yes, it's okay to use that word selfish. And that's what I use. So when you put these three things into action, you'll see your life start to change. But you must stay consistent. You have to stay consistent. The more you do this, the easier it becomes. It's like going to the gym. I go to the gym 3-4 times a week because I want to build muscle. Guess what? You have to put these things into action every day and as often as you can, because this is just like a muscle. You will build it. It gets stronger and stronger. And next thing you know, you won't even have to think about it. It'll just be who you are. So just remember that. You'll start to see your life change. And the next thing you'll see is yourself starting to blossom, to develop, to flourish, to grow, to prosper, to shine, to progress, to rise, and to radiate. This is how I see myself now. I see myself every day. When I think of the sun, I think of the sun shining, bright, smiling, and happy, and this is exactly who I am. And this is what I learned that thriving is. That's what thriving is all about. Thriving is about all these words. It's about all of this. It's about blossoming, just like a rose, a beautiful, beautiful rose. It starts off as a seed, it's watered, you nourish it, and boom, it blossoms. It's about developing. You can't stay a little girl forever. You have to become a woman. And you have to become a woman so that you can teach your children. It is about flourishing. It is about growing. It is about progress. That's life. That's life. And you will see yourself thriving. I can promise you that. So I pray with this very short message, you are able to understand just how important it is to thrive, just how powerful this word is, and just how powerful when you implement it into your life, how powerful you become, what it does to you, and what it would help you to do for other people. Listen, if you don't thrive, you will die. You will die. Now, I'm a nurse, and we have tons of patients, and we have a lot of patients with diagnosis. It's called failure to thrive, and they're dying, and they're actually dying from inside out. It's such a horrible sight to see. And when I think about it, I'm thinking that because maybe someone didn't teach them, because maybe someone didn't teach them about boundaries or trusting or selfishness. You know, maybe it's because they didn't understand about getting quiet and not being so available. So it saddens me when I see these patients that I have with this diagnosis, failure to thrive. And it can happen to any and all of us. So just know and understand just how special you are and just how deserving you are of this word, thrive. You're special. And remember, if you don't thrive, you die. And I choose to live. I choose to thrive. It's just like the butterfly. The butterfly starts off as a caterpillar, and trying to get out of that cocoon, it almost dies. It almost dies out. God does not want us to die. He does not want us to die. So I choose to live. I choose to thrive. But let me leave you with this quote by Maya Angelou. She says, "We delight in the beauty of the butterfly, but rarely admit the changes it has gone through to achieve that beauty." Wow. Really, really think about that. That butterfly, in order to thrive, it has to go through something. But at the end, that butterfly thrives. So let's all thrive together. We know how to do this now. Let's be just like that butterfly and thrive. Thank you.
Have you been victimized or traumatized? Do you wish someone would hear your silent scream, understand your story, or know your truth? Venus Chandler, survivor, author, and motivational speaker, hears, understands, and knows the truth about being victimized and traumatized. She has dedicated the rest of her life to helping women like you to find their voice and rediscover their hope, strength, courage, and their power within. If you are ready to regain your voice, connect with Venus today at www.venuschandler.com or info@venuschandler.com. Purchase Venus's book, A Silent Scream, My Story, My Truth, on Amazon, or contact her via email for a personal signed copy. Let your silent scream be heard.
Venus, thank you, beautiful, for giving us permission to no longer let our past define us, for helping us find our voice. Thank you, Venus, for reminding us that we are not victims. We're no longer survivors. We are thrivers. What a wonderful word you've shared with us today, and we bless you. All of our inspirational leaders today have touched our heart in a very special way. They have reminded us that it is time to pack up and move on. There are simple things we can do every day to thrive. Things like getting at least sleep for 8 hours, meditating for 5 minutes, disconnecting our phones and devices, moving our bodies, setting priorities. There are just little things we can do, things like accepting ourselves. We learned that being creative sparks thriving attitudes. Listen, there are times you need to talk to somebody, and there are times someone needs to talk to you. These are the little things we can do to help us thrive. thriving, being all that God has created us to be. As we recap what our inspirational leaders have shared with us today, let me remind you what thrive looks like from their point of view. Tamiko reminded us that the T is for trust, that we have to trust God, trust ourselves, and be vulnerable enough to trust other people. Sharon followed up with H and said H is for having a forgiven spirit. God has forgiven us. We need to forgive ourselves as well as forgive other people. Angela jumped on board with R and said R and thrive is for resilience, that we are able to bounce back, that we don't have to live based on what we've been through, but we can take what we've been through and move on to be what we were created to be. It's time to bounce back. Athena didn't leave us high and dry. She said the letter I says incorporate gratitude. Have a heart of thanksgiving. Be grateful for what we have and not complain about what we don't have. Having an attitude of gratitude by saying thank you, not only to God, but to ourselves and others. Incorporating gratitude is the best attitude for thriving. Jessica brought us the letter V, and she said vision is important, but she's going to go with value because it's important that we value ourselves, that we stop discounting ourselves and put value on ourselves so that other people can value us too. She reminded us how important it is to value yourself by increasing your knowledge and taking care of yourself. And then, of course, we heard from you for the letter E. You told us that thrive means the letter E is making sure we have expectation, making sure we have energy, making sure we evolve. There's so many wonderful things that you shared with us. We weren't able to share them all, but we want to say thank you to everyone who participated, called in, and shared your vision, your thoughts for the letter E in thrive. It's thrive time, ladies. It's thrive time. It's time to trust, have a forgiving spirit, be resilient, incorporate gratitude, value who you are, expect the best, evolve, have energy, and do and be who God has called and created you to be. It's time. You weren't meant to just survive in life. You were meant to thrive. There is a higher purpose for you. So take the time to dig deep, to discover who you really are, to be the person you were created to be. Be strong, walk tall, put your crown on. It's thrive time. Thank you once again for joining us for another Worldwide Women Speakers Online Conference. Now that you've taken great notes on both your paper and your heart, you've written a note to yourself, it's time to take action. It's time to gather your courage, put one foot in front of the other, and thrive. Just as a reminder, you don't have to do it alone. The inspirational leaders here at Worldwide Women Speakers are available to walk alongside of you. If you'd like to connect with any of our online speakers, you can do so freely by visiting us at www.worldwidewomenspeakers.com. That's worldwidewomenspeakers.com. We're standing by to talk to you. We want to invite you to join us again next month for our online women's conference. In the meantime, in between time, please do stay connected. Connect with us on our Facebook group, Girl, I'm working on it too. Or join us on Instagram at Worldwide Women Speakers. You can always contact us via phone at 1-877-235-0300. 1-877-235-0373. That's 1-877-235-0373. Or online on our website at worldwidewomenspeakers.com. Again, that's worldwidewomenspeakers.com. Let's go, girl. It's Thrive time.